We elect people to go to Washington to solve our crises of the day, to represent us, and to ensure that we have a democracy and a government that is functional and that is ultimately responsive to the people. And the way the filibuster has been abused and is now wielded over all legislation, over all Senate action, means that it essentially nullifies election results and says that the minority has complete veto power over what gets to the president's desk. If the bill that we learn about in Schoolhouse Rock passes the House, passes the Senate, and goes to the president's desk, unfortunately, the way the filibuster works, it passes the House, gets more votes in the Senate than gets a majority of votes, and but now has to win by 10 to get to the president's desk. That is not the way democracy is supposed to work. We hear three arguments for the filibuster. One, that it promotes debate. Don't see a lot of debate on the floor right now. If you were to turn on C-SPAN, you'd see a quorum call most of the time. So not many things are actually debated. Number two, they say that filibuster promotes compromise and bipartisanship. The only thing that goes to the president's desk is something that's supported by Republicans and Democrats alike, but it actually does the exact opposite, because what the filibuster does is it gives the minority the path to regain power by making the majority fail and to block any and all votes, and block anything that looks bipartisan. And so there is an incentive to block everything to make the majority look bad. And finally, the filibuster is, we talk about how it is to protect the interest of the minority. And that is a place where the filibuster does work. It essentially gives the minority of the Senate, 41 senators who represent 23% of the American population, complete veto power. And so at some point, when you weigh the equities, you can have a government that does absolutely nothing and is not responsive to the voters who showed up in overwhelming numbers, especially in 2020, a record-breaking number, or you can have a Senate that does nothing at all. And so ultimately, what I think we need is a functioning democracy, one that can, again, solve the problems of the day and is more responsive to all of the challenges that we face in our life. And I think we're starting to see what that kind of a world could look like, as we saw through the rescue package that made its way through the House and the Senate and was debated. And hopefully we can do that on climate change, racial equity, police accountability, and ultimately the bills that I'm working on around voting rights and reducing the undue influence of money in politics.